This. All right, everybody, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Charlie Gross. I'm our Director of Business Development here with Operation 36. I've been here for about 8 years now. Just want to thank everybody for joining the webinar. Today, I'm joined by John Burke and Bob Munkittrick. Sorry, Bob.
Sorry, mouthful.
I got a great last name, Gross. So you know, I always got made fun of as a kid, but I just tongue twister got me. But they're based out of DuPont Country Club. These guys are up in Wilmington, Delaware, in the Philly section. The way I try and do these webinars is really to engage with the audience, answer any questions you guys have on the program, any questions you guys have for Bob, any questions you have for John. So this is really a chance to get interactive, learn from some amazing coaches, and ask questions. And there is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. So that's where you'll want to direct all your questions to that Q&A. And if you have any other questions as we're talking, just simply send them through there and we'll redirect those to Bob and John once we get the Q&A going. And I know, John, we were just talking about this a few minutes ago. You guys signed up, the fall of 2019. 2020 was a crazy year, but you guys, even though enrollments might not have been where you wanted them in 2020, the story I heard is you reached out to us, said, hey, 2021, we're going to knock this thing out of the park. We want to have 100 plus juniors, 50 plus ladies, really build that academy type feel and become a top 50 location with a bunch of certified coaches. And well, here we are. You guys have done just that. 2021, 216 enrollments, 2022, 280. And then I looked, earlier today, and it looked like you guys already had 180 or so enrollments so far this year. And we're not even a quarter. Well, for you guys, it's like the first month of the season. So right. It's really an amazing story. I'm excited to hear more from you guys today. So what we'll do is I'll just kind of briefly run through a 3-4 minute overview of Operation 36, how the program works. We'll open up to you two, hear more about your story, how you've been using Operation 36 to, run your incredible ladies program that you built up there at DuPont, and then we'll open up for Q&A. So we'll wrap this thing up right at the top of the hour. So let's jump in here, get started. And what I'll do is I'll just, jump into the three main cores of Operation 36. And, really what I like to do with these is just run through a brief history. Like I said, I started here almost 8 years ago. Before that, Matt Reagan, Ryan Daly started this thing as a junior program in a little town called Booties Creek, North Carolina. There was one student, and if you fast forward here, I guess 13 years later now from when they first started, this thing's at over 700 locations, and we've had a giant boom in ladies participation here over the last few years. I know you guys have seen it. We'll hear more about that. I think over 50% of our golfers last year were actually adult students, and the majority of those were ladies. So, the thing that really separates and makes Op 36 different is, it's not a traditional one-off camp, one-off private lesson. We get the golfers on the golf course, they get out there, they play golf, and that's what the Operation 36 model is. From there, you got to have a great coach to help develop your skills. So we also meet in weekly classes. You have a good coach like Bob and John here, and that's what we can do as golf professionals, is to have those weekly classes coupled with the playing, keep these golfers motivated, and then leverage the technology to kind of help enhance that experience, make our lives as coaches easier, be able to show them they're getting better. And that's really it. That's the three main cores. You got the playing piece where we get them out on the golf course, they try and beat 36. We got weekly classes to help these golfers improve their skills, and then the technology to help manage everything. And what all that looks like when you put it together, here's an example, of what a student schedule could look like. This is just an 8-week program we have laid out here. You can see the 8 blue dots and 4 green dots. The blue dots signify classes, which are typically about an hour long. The industry standard for Operation 36 is a 6-to-1 student to coach ratio. And when you do group coaching, it can help make things much more cost effective for your students, but also much more efficient for us as coaches if we have an organized curriculum to be able to deliver. So the cool thing to remember here is not only are we seeing them during classes during the week, but they're also getting out on the golf course, and that's where those green dots come in. They're really important. Having those 9-hole events really create a feeling, that they can go out there, they can see some success earlier on the golf course. And the way that those are run is, they go out there, we start them out on the golf course 25 yards away. They have the goal of beating 36 for 9 holes. And once they beat 36, and they can progress back to 50, 100, 150, 200 yards. I know, Bob and John were saying how they have, classes based on where their golfers are on the course. I'll let them speak to that here in a little bit. But really the goal is to, knock down those barriers for those golfers that are, maybe intimidated by the golf course, especially what we've seen over the years with ladies is, there is that intimidation factor of, how do I get out on the golf course? What do I do? Am I going to have to look over my shoulder the whole time? Is it going to take me, 3 hours to play 9 holes? And almost organically, what we've seen is, because the course is so scaled down, even if you do have, beginners out there, they can go out and they can play 9 holes in under 2 hours. And they can play that fast because they're playing from a yardage that's equal to their skill level. The program's simplifying what they're doing out there on the golf course. And whether or not you have a lady that's, just getting involved and too intimidated to play from her full tee box, or you've got, a lady that wants to go out there and break 90 like you guys are trying to do up there at DuPont, it's going to help your golfers show them where they are and allow them to, see where they're going with these different milestones you see over here on the right. So every golfer gets a profile. I'll let Bob and John kind of talk to that in a little bit, how they're using it. But that being said, I'd love to just kind of open it up to you guys. And if you wouldn't mind, just maybe one of you taking the reins here and just sharing a little bit of how you guys got involved in Operation 36. I'd love to hear about it.
John,
yeah. Well, thanks for having us on. I know Bob and I are looking forward to this coming up today. So thanks for everybody that joined. So a little backstory about, how we got to this point, and then I'll let Bob talk more about the program itself. Our club was purchased in 2018 by new owners, and part of the goal of the purchase and the future of the club was to be able to build an athletic facility that focused on the athletic piece of it. So golf, tennis, aquatics, and fitness. And I came on board to help build the golf piece of it. And one was to build a golf academy and to engage current golfers and members, but also new golfers, whether it's juniors or adults, in this case with the ladies in the Operation 36 program. Bob came on board in 2019, and we started to kind of look to see what was going on around the country and what we could implement here to get us off and running. And the Operation 36 program stuck out. We brought it on board in 2019, and then COVID happened. And then since then, it's been a home run. The main focus originally was the junior piece of it, to build a strong junior academy, and it quickly flipped into a massive women's program in the Wilmington, Delaware area. And it's been real fun. The program's allowed us to introduce the game of golf to individuals that have always wanted to play, or individuals that never realized how much they love the game and how fun it can be. When the ladies started to really take off, our focus was to make sure that they were not intimidated, that they had fun, and we allow members and non-members to join. So you didn't have to be a member of the club. You could register online through social media and through marketing that we had done in the area, and then show up on day one, and all of a sudden there's 20 women that have never played golf and were all nervous and intimidated. And now we've transitioned some of those women into members who play in our 9 and 18 hole women's league. So it's been a great run so far. Bob, if you want to touch on the program itself, since Bob's our director of the ladies Operation 36 program, as well as our tournament director. So he oversees the whole ladies program and all the coaches that assist him with that program.
Yeah, it's been a really fun road. I mean, this thing blew up on us almost immediately, and word of mouth has been fantastic. But before outlining the program, I just want to share one story of a member that we have here whose husband and son play golf religiously, and mom never wanted any part of it, and they got her into this program so that she wouldn't be intimidated or afraid of it. And now I think she's driving both of them absolutely crazy, because she plays more than they do, and all she wants to do is play golf. And that's the kind of thing that this program can do, and the excitement it can build within individual golfers. But We kicked it off real simple with just, a couple class opportunities a week. And obviously a new program was easy because it's all 25s, right? If you're signing up for this, you're going to be 25 regardless of your experience in golf. And we're going to start from the green and work backwards. So we integrated the curriculum program and the online stuff probably in the second semester that we did. The first semester we were just kind of digging our way through the weeds. And once we really started using the online app and the curriculum and we started giving people points, and we're giving prizes for like the most points in a month or most points in a semester. We'll give away, whatever we might have. I mean, it might be a gift card for some coffee or a sleeve of balls or a hat or something, just to incentivize them for putting points in, right? And to watch the leaderboard in your class became fun for them, right? It was something that they really started to engage in. And that kind of got some momentum kicked off. And, basically just staying the course with the curriculum and making sure that they learn the basics from, putting to chipping and, teaching them how to move around the golf course, where to leave their golf bags, how to mark a golf ball. I mean, everything we try to incorporate all of that stuff into what we do so that when they graduate through a program and they've been with us for, 2 or 3 semesters, they're ready to try playing golf with their spouses, with their friends. And that's been very, very successful for us in encouraging them to get out and play a lot. We do pretty much the schedule that you had on the board there. We have an 8-week semester. We meet once a week. And currently we have an under 100 class. So we have the 25s and 50s in there, and then we have an over 100. So those are alumni of the program usually. And the over 100 program focuses more on course situations and helping them kind of get ready to, break 100 or break 90, get used to being out on the golf course more often, and gain some confidence that they can play with the big boys or girls, right? In this case. And then the 25s and 50s, we progress them through the program, and they play every other weekend on Saturdays, from 10 to 12 currently is our schedule. And we break them into their level of play. So they're playing with somebody at the same yardage, unless, and this is the thing we try to do with the adults, is be somewhat flexible. So if they've come in with a group of their buddies and one of them didn't pass 25 and the other 3 are at 50 and they want to play together, of course we're going to let them play together. It's also the social aspect of what we're doing. And I think that's what keeps the program growing. And then after they play, they come in and, we buy them a cocktail or a soda or something at the bar, and they sit around and socialize while we utilize Golf Genius and put their names up on an electronic scoreboard so they can see within their division how they're doing. And it's a nice way to wrap up the play day, and they have a lot of fun. And that's where they really start to meet each other, form friendships, start to play together. Hey, you want to get together on Thursday night and play? Yeah, let's do it. So, and we encourage them to do that as well. And we also found, something very successful is if they can't make a play day, we will do periodic play days during the week where 3 or 4 of them can get together, as long as it's announced ahead of time that this is an official round and they have to come pick up their scorecard and go out and play together and keep each other's scores. We allow some women to do that when, they have kids going to lacrosse games and stuff on Saturday and can't make the play day. We try to be as flexible as we can and keep them playing, keep them out on the course.
Yeah, and there are a couple questions came in that I'll answer. Bob touched on one of them. One of is, how do you handle missed sessions, which Bob just mentioned. We're very flexible. The goal is to grow the game and to drive the game, as opposed to be very, very stringent with the scheduling. So We're lucky here at DuPont where we have a pretty large property. So we have plenty of space and we can always find room at some point in the week to either make up a session or to make up a play day. We price the program out as if they would make 6 of the 8 sessions and 3 of the 4 play days. And we make sure to communicate that in our marketing and, communication with individuals so they don't feel like they're losing if they happen to not be able to make up a day or make up a play day due to, extenuating circumstances or rain or anything of that nature. We have probably, I'd say, half of the women, maybe a little more than half of the women are non-members. So they are not a member of DuPont Country Club. They have heard about the program through our marketing on social media, our club website, and word of mouth. So I make sure when the program gets ready to re-up that I send it out on my social media platform, the club social media platform, and then Bob and the rest of the other 4 golf professionals that we have on staff all push it out. So all 6 professionals plus the club's platforms are pushing it probably every other day for about 2 weeks. And we have the links up right there on social media. So you just click on the link, register, and then we get all the emails of everybody registering and signing up, which is a fun problem to have, but it's definitely a lot of emails. So that just touches on those questions there that came through. But yes, it's a great program. The juniors are now starting to pick up on it. But like Bob said, our focus was to really show the women, what golf's about, but then also past the course, what the friendships mean, what the relationships mean, the networking. We have a lot of women that, now, are doing business with each other because of what their profession was and they met each other on the golf course. So, the playing golf, for the women and the adult is more of not an afterthought, but a plus because of the relationships they're building, the fun they're having, and what they're learning. And golf just happens to be, the result of that. As far as do we do anything unique at the first session of a semester? Not necessarily the first session, but like Bob said, on the play days, we provide everybody, a drink, whether it's an iced tea, a soda, or whatnot, or a cocktail. So they know that, hey, on Saturday, your first play day, plan to come in and hang out for an hour after and socialize and whatnot. We do have a kitchen that was just put in at our practice facility. Prior to that, we would have some hors d'oeuvres and whatnot out there as well. So we very much make it a social event after golf, which is what, all of us on here that play golf know that when you're done golfing, you typically go in and have have some food and have some laughs and joke around. So I think that's something that's really helped us push the program and begin the growth that we've had. Right now, Bob, we have 5 classes during the week?
Yeah, I was just looking at this question on there. Yeah, so we have 5, actually 6 classes. So we offer a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning class. Tuesday and Wednesday at 11, Thursday at noon. 2 of those are alumni classes, 100 plus, that were basically formed for people who have graduated from 50 that really wanted to do some on-course experience. So we built classes for them. The Wednesday morning is a below 100 class, so it's beginners. And then we have a Tuesday night and Wednesday night class at 6 p.m. And that's at Tuesday night, we have 3 instructors, and 1 instructor handles the 50s, 1 handles the 25s, and then I take the 100s out on the course on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday night, we have an over 100 class and an under 100 class with 2 instructors. And that under 100 class is combined because most of them are new. And then we have a Saturday afternoon class at 1 o'clock. So we try to give a little bit of spread for everybody, give them an option, different times, different days. In the past, when we filled up a class, we would add another one. But it's kind of interesting to see how, I mean, I would say, John, every year, Tuesday night's been the most popular, right? I mean, we always sell that one out and have 3 or 4 instructors. I think last year we had 4 instructors on Tuesday night.
Yeah, having the classes, at different times and different days, it makes it easier to build the program, because if you just have, and this is where it gets tough, because there's other, job duties, there's life and stuff like that, and not every club has the space that we have. DuPont has 45 holes and we have a massive teaching facility. So we have more space really than what we need, which isn't the case for most golf courses or teaching programs. But making sure that you have a few options for people to choose from. That way you're not losing, the business or losing the participation because it's only Wednesday at 3 o'clock from 3 to 4, and that's it. I would say, kind of what we did was we just put out there, four times, and then realized that those times, even though they were the best for us, they weren't the best for the individuals, being the adult. Being an adult, if you have kids, you have jobs, you have vacations, it's not like a junior where you just get dropped off at whatever time you're supposed to be there and then you get picked back up. So we had to pay attention to that when building the program. The question is how and what do you charge? We charge $400 for members of the club and $480 for non-members of the club, and we do not accept cash. So when they come in on Monday or when they come in on their first session, Bob or one of the pros will charge everybody that's a non-member right then and there. So we'll walk around, grab credit cards, go into the office, sign everybody through, and then hand back the cards, and then everybody's paid throughout the semester. And then the members will get charged on their member account. So it makes it pretty easy to stay fluid with that and make sure that we capture everybody. Plus, with the website, we can check off who's paid, who's not paid. So the addition to that, keeping everything clean and organized is key.
That's been a godsend, by the way, having that.
I saw that and I couldn't believe it. So
we had stuff in 3 places last year, and it was an admin nightmare. It's really simplified my life a lot. So I thank you for developing that. Got a question here. Is Op36 partly marketed around pro revenue? What do you charge and what portion do the pros retain? And really, this is a player development program that we're doing for the club. So our main focus here is to drive revenue to the club, which then drives revenue to us. Okay, so we look at it as a win-win both ways. If I'm driving women's revenue into the club's bank account, they want me to stay around. Right. And they're eager to give me more time out there to teach. Okay. So it really pays off. So I get paid my lesson fee for the hour that I teach. All right. And the club keeps the rest of it. So, it really works well for me, because as tournament director at the club, I've got so many things going on. Like I've got 6 events this week. So I have to have a structured kind of lesson program where I know I'm going to teach these hours and build everything else around that. So it helps me manage my time, but I still have an opportunity to get out and teach and make extra money. So it works well for me.
Yeah, and that goes the same way with the rest of the staff. There's, like Bob said, there's three instructors on Tuesday and 3 on Wednesday. So they know that, okay, Operation 36, is going to kick off in April. So April, May, we schedule out the pros that know, okay, this week I'm teaching, or for these 8 weeks, I'm teaching these exact days. And after that, they can build in their private lessons or any other type of programming that we have. So the pros know, okay, I'm guaranteed 2 or 3 hours, or in Bob's case, basically 6 hours a week teaching in the ladies Operation 36 program. And then there's cases, and Bob can attest to this, that, once the, ladies are in there, some of those turn into private lessons or private, group lessons, because they want more instruction. So I would say, think of it as a feeder program, not just to get people involved in golf and introduced to the game of golf, but also for your lesson book. If you have a player that passes 150 yards or gets to 200, that person is most likely going to want private instruction at that point, because now they're hooked. They're breaking 100, when they're playing from the tee box, or they want to break 90 now, and they want, more hands-on instruction. So, the goal for us was to jump in and figure out how to swim with this program. And then now that, we're just running laps back and forth, it seems like every other month, now we can tweak it and kind of, build off of it. One of the things we're going to, work on this summer is to build a men's Operation 36 style program, where we take a lot of the stuff that's working for us with the ladies and kind of morph it into something that we think the men of the club in the area are really going to offer.
And it's funny that you said that, because a question, you might have seen that question come in as you were answering.
Yeah, I did. I was like, wait a minute, how did they know something about that?
But I've seen it here too. I think I told you at the beginning of the call, over 50% of our golfers last year were adults, which, this thing started as a junior program. So it sounds like you guys are seeing it. What are you guys, have you guys thought through how you're going to tweak the program for men?
Well, that's a challenge, as you know, because men are a lot different than women. They don't do things in a social way like the women do. And of course they know all this stuff already. I think what we want to try to do is morph it into kind of I see it as, doing some sort of a challenge in the beginning where it's like come on out, we're going to do an op 36 challenge for 9 holes, and you're going to play, maybe we'll start them at 50 and see if they can break 36. And, when a bunch of them don't make it, then you say, okay, how would you like to learn how to do this? And then start them through the program. I think there's a lot of people out there, a lot of men out there that would have trouble shooting 36 from 50 yards.
It's funny. The club I used to work at, there was a dad that was like an 8 or 9 handicap, and he went out and played from 50 yards with his son, and his son beat him. So it was, he figured out really quickly where he was struggling, where those 8 or 9 strokes were per round.
And that's kind of the thought, like Bob had said, is trying to get the men to realize, again, as golf pros, we all know that you can save the most shots through putting and chipping. If you not necessarily off the tee, but everybody wants to hit it far and hit a million balls on the driving range as fast as you can and just rake one after another. So trying to get that mindset to change, it will be our focus. And like Bob said, once you get a couple guys out there that are, shooting the 80s, but can't shoot 36 from 50 yards away, that mindset changes. And then that'll give us a good idea of where to take it from there. How many ladies per class or per instructor? So we're anywhere from 6 to 10 students per instructor. We have just about 30, I believe, close to 30 women in the 2 evening classes. We'd like to be 6 to 1, but 10 to 1 is still viable. Bob and the staff set everything up well ahead of time, so all the stations are set, everything's organized. So the ladies come in, we do an overview of what's going on that day, review the drills that they're going to work through, and then they move around the stations for the programming that day. And then the instructors are moving around and talking. So it's a little more of the students are kind of teaching and coaching each other when they're in their pods. So we kind of split people up into groups of like 2, 3, or 4 out of the 10. And then they kind of work together, and it becomes more of a team, team coaching aspect. As far as the single instructor kickoff a viable program, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, think of it as just you're running a clinic. You're gonna, put out this thing, wedge clinic on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Okay, well, you're gonna do that in the Operation 36 program, but Operation 36 gives you the ability to use their platform, their website, their app, be more interactive with your student. And from there, it'll just grow, as opposed to you having to think about all this stuff that you want to put in there. What drills are you going to do? How are you going to communicate it? How are you going to program it? It's already programmed. That was the one thing that I loved about it the most, was we're not reinventing the wheel here. Operation 36 has already built the program and done it. All we have to do is implement it. So that made it very easy for us as we were building and growing the club into what it's become as a whole. We didn't have the time to write out everything on our own, to figure everything out on our own. It was like, let's just take this program and see if it works. What's the worst thing that could happen? It's going to work, just maybe not to the size that we wanted, right? In 2019, it was a good year. And then 20, it dropped down because of COVID. And then now it's so busy that, we had to limit it. I mean, we couldn't bring everybody on that we wanted to this April and May because it just flourished.
Yeah,
So it's been good.
I would definitely say starting out as an individual instructor, you just, pick a couple of nights that are good, and limit the number of people that can sign up. The app does that for you now. And you could have 3 or 4 classes a week if you wanted to, and just, top it off at 10 people. And just see what you do. And if you have a class that doesn't fill up, or you don't have 3 or 4 to make it really viable, you can try to transfer them to the other days. But that's what we did in the beginning, and it worked just fine.
Yeah. So, I think we had one lady last year. She was, I think 82 years old. And we had the youngest was 21. So in our ladies operation 36 program, you have to be 21 or over to join it. So and then we do have the women that are in the program now that are members, or even that go out and play at other courses. They'll say that they just go to like the 100-yard mark, or they'll go to 150 and play that way. So, they're taking the program with them when they go play, and whether it's corporate outings that, a lot of the business women are playing in now, because they always wanted to play in them and the men always got to, and they didn't. Now they can play, and they go out and do that. Or when they're playing here, some of the wives, when they play with their husbands, they'll just go to the 200-yard mark. Even if they're in the 50 or 100 class, they're confident going to the 200-yard mark and playing that hole in from there. So, they utilize it, on their own, not just within the program.
Yeah,
the curriculum pretty close. I'll let Bob touch on this in a minute, but when we brought the program in, we followed it, tried to follow it to a T, because that was the easiest way for us to continue to grow the program as well as operate the club. Now that we're in it, I'm sure Bob has some tweaks that'll touch on, but the program's there to either follow as close as you want, or to use it as a guide to kind of build your own version of it. It's golf, right? Every swing's not perfect, and none of the swings are the same. So the programs don't have to be identical. They can be built based off of your personality, your market, your network, and your club. But this is just an outline.
Yeah, I would say, we follow the curriculum really kind of on a parallel railroad track. We kind of looked at it and said, yeah, we're going to do some power, right? Okay, what does power mean? How does that translate to an adult? And we talk about contact with a golf ball. We want to make good, solid contact. How do you do that? And we developed and modified some of the drills that are already there. Trying to think of another good example. They do have some games, and we've played games periodically with the beginners, especially the 25-yarders. There's pizza place in there, right, where you make a pizza if you're successful with a shot, and we split groups into teams. And if you hit it through these gates, pitch it through the gates in the air, you're starting to make your pizza. Well, we changed it to martinis. For the ladies, right? So if you shoot it through the hoops, you get a martini. There's your glass. You made your glass. Okay, now there's vodka in there. Now there's an olive, whatever. And we just try to have some fun with this stuff and kind of relate it to adults if we can. I still go out there. I use the domes every week, right? So we've got domes everywhere, and we put up pool noodles to delineate where we're teaching, and use lots of color and stuff, because they get a real kick out of it. It's not like it's kids stuff, because we've kind of modified it and developed it for women to enjoy it, especially when we do putting. Like I'll set up golf courses all over the putting green and give them targets to shoot at. We implemented for green reading is going to be next week in week 5. And we'll go out there with percentage cards on the green and show them how they can use their feet to feel the break on the green, and then we'll have a dome out there to aim at, and the ball will end up at a different color dome where it's supposed to, and we just try to help them understand the concepts and ideas. And surprisingly, most of them really relate to this stuff well. And so I would take the curriculum and, just like any other teacher would do over time, take a piece out of all the teachers you've worked with and all the experiences you've had. Take a piece out of your own book and add it in, mix your personality in there. And that's especially what makes it successful, is let them know you're having fun with them. It's not regimented and strict, like you're going to get an A or a B in this class. We're out here to have fun, and we're here to learn. And I think that really, helps drive it home.
Yeah. And with the curriculum, we also utilize the app. I see the questionnaire, the app and the website, so, the students know what's coming up, whether it's the juniors or the ladies. We utilize it pretty heavily. We get everybody registered, we walk them through it, they get emails from it. We'll email all the alumni, over the winter, if we're going to do something from an indoor standpoint, to give them just some taste of golf in the winter. So that way, when they come out of the winter, they're ready to go. We have them do the social media stuff that's on the site, uploading pictures, uploading scores, and using it as a platform to where they can talk to each other, they can see what's going on, and they know what's coming up from a clinic-based session. As far as getting on the course, again, we're very lucky. We have a 9-hole course, which is attached to our practice facility, and that course is what we utilize for all of our big programming, Operation 36, our junior stuff, our summer camps. So we block that off in the times that we need for the programming, and that is the course that we utilize. So having 2 18-hole courses, our membership has plenty of space to play or practice. So it's not intruding on the member experience. It's actually elevating it, because like I said, half of the women are members. So they're getting out there and playing, and then they'll continue to play on the 9-hole course, and then they eventually graduate on their own or feel confident on their own to go play one of the 2 championship courses. So our staff gets together, we hop in 6-seaters, take women, to the farthest holes. Outside of that, the women walk and carry their bag just like, golfers do. Bob will get everybody ready to go, hand out their scorecards, and then all of a sudden you just see a wave of women just scattering all over the property to get to their holes, because we'll shotgun them off. So they go off at 10 in a shotgun, they're done at 12, they come in, grab a bite to eat, have a drink, and then they head out. So it's pretty easy for that to get them out there on the course. Now, if we only had one golf course, 18 holes, we would have to be a little more creative on what we would do in that regard. So I do know that could be a struggle. But again, if you start with one class, or maybe say 2 classes, one in the morning and one in the evening, different days, see how the program builds. And then once you build it and you know how many people you have, then you'll be able to answer that question on your own on how your club is going to be able to handle it. I would not recommend trying to be perfect to build it. Just send out the registration links, get 10, 15 women in the program, and then figure it out from there. If you're bringing in driving revenue, the club's going to want to see you succeed. And, I think just trying to figure it all out first before you have any participation can leave you a little nervous, leave you frightened that you don't know what to do. Well, there's no need to know what to do if you don't have anybody in your program. So, get the people first, follow the curriculum, and then figure out, how you can scale it.
Yeah.
And John, to add to that, like Bob said earlier, you can set the class sizes. So we can help you guys we can help if you're worried about that kind of thing. We can help you guys market appropriately. Hey, this is limited to the first 12 people. Hey, this is limited to the first 6 people, and go from there. And Bob, it sounded like you were going to jump in and possibly chime in there as well.
Yeah. When talking about getting everybody on the course, is just, I'm fortunate that we also run Golf Genius as our tournament package here. So I load everybody each semester into Golf Genius, and I create a league for them, and then I spit out scorecards for their starting holes, and we have toppers that we put on our carts, for outings. And I take those over to the putting green and put their hole number out there and put their scorecards in the topper, and they just come pick their stuff up. And after they do it a couple times, they've got the routine down. So, and we're really, really lucky and fortunate to have that 9-hole facility that works for us. I mean, that really makes the program easy to fill, right?
Yeah, I love it. I've loved being a part of Golf Genius here for the last year and a half. I mean, you talked to some of the new features that have come out with the app, and we're excited to have more of that tournament stuff put in there eventually.
I did have one question there about do we have a program activity workbook that we sell? And the answer to that is no. We just use the app exclusively, and that works well for us. I email all the classes every Monday afternoon using the mail from Op36, the program there, and just basically give them a weekly class announcement. Hey, here's what we're using. Here's clubs you need. This is what we're doing this week. Please review these videos to make sure that you're prepped and ready. So that's kind of where the curriculum ties in. And, we tell them, hey, what you see on the video may be a little bit different from what we teach you, but that's good because you're getting it from 2 sources and you're going to learn faster that way. So and we do that every week, and that's helpful.
Do you see that the ladies are more engaged from the curriculum side than the juniors as far as like what they're learning?
Well, I mean, I think our current group right now, they're very into it. But that's because we pump it up a lot and get them excited about it. John, you would probably be able to speak to the juniors a little better. I think our group uses it pretty well, don't they?
Yeah, so our Matt Finger, who's one of our other golf professionals, he heads up our junior program through Operation 36, and we have classes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the juniors, and he manages that. We have 10 to 12 juniors in each of those 3 programs, and then we run a Friday clinic and a Sunday snag program, and we kind of use Operation 36 as an outline for all of those programs. And we pump all the kids into them. So, your 5 and 6 year old in snag, we still get them into the portal and get the videos going and have the kids post stuff, and the parents will register their practices, stuff of that nature, because we want that to be the feeder program into the Operation 36 program, which then feeds into our elite, our elite program that our director of instruction heads up. And even in that elite program, he'll send the kids out and, all right, kids, it's 50-yard day. You're going to play from 50 yards. And these are all high school level players that want to play in college. So, we take part of the program and just move it all over. But we encourage everybody to use the app and to use the website through Op36 so that they can get more knowledgeable about whether it's putting, course maintenance, course management, anything of that nature. As far as the break even, and what to charge, that's going to be based off of your individual location and the space. If you look at what you're doing now from lesson revenue and scheduling, you'll have to then work that back to make sure you break even. But again, I don't see how you can't break even. If you have the clinics and you market it and you have fun doing it, the people in your area will jump on board. Golf is booming, as we all know, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. So there's new golfers to be had everywhere. Just jump in 100% and start using it. We had, I don't know how many women we had the first year we did it, but it was a lot more than what we expected. And the juniors were a lot less. But ideally it was a junior program like that originally started out, and it just completely was the opposite, to the point where I was like, okay, well, what are we going to do for the juniors? Like, this is working for the ladies here at DuPont, but how come it's not working for the juniors? And for us, it was just, in our area, the juniors just hadn't, got the bug yet. They just weren't. We were still growing. We were still new. It was a new club, with the change of ownership and everything. And that just took time. Now we have a total of 68 juniors between all of our junior programs. And then we have 80 in the women's program this semester.
Yeah.
So, now we're getting there, and then it's a matter of, how big can we support it? So, but I, by all means, don't see how you wouldn't be able to break even and profit from it.
That's a cool story. It looks like we just had another one come in from Brian here as far as the downloading the app.
Yeah, do you have all members? Yes. So we ask all the members that are in the program to download the app. We don't ask all the members in the club to download the app. So if you are joining the program, whether it's a junior or a female, we do have you pull up your phone and literally download the app in front of us, and then we'll walk people through it. Matt does a great job with that with the kids, and then Bob and the rest of the team do a great job with that with the ladies. But now if they don't use it, that's one thing, but we make sure everybody downloads it because it's part of the program. Just like when you show up, you have to wear proper attire. You have to be here to play golf. To be in the Operation 36 program, you have to download the app, and we highly recommend that you utilize it.
And you guys mentioned this, more of a personal question on my end. We've kind of heard, about the ladies program, how the juniors were a little bit different, getting the buy-in on everything. What has this done to like the overall culture of the club? Have you guys seen anything change there? I know you were trying to get more of an academy type feel, but is there anything else that you've seen, that change or within the culture?
Yeah, I mean, the club itself has changed since we made that ownership change. But this program, when I'm out there walking around and I see all the ladies, I'll walk up and down the range, and people are like, "What's going on? What's with all the women back on the putting green?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Operation 36. This is a program. This is what it is." And they're like, "This is great. I've never seen so many women out taking a golf lesson, or when they're out on the golf course, wow, the whole course is packed with female golfers or junior golfers at that point." So our membership has definitely taken on the new wave that we've kind of pushed to make it a family focused athletic facility, and we want everybody out here participating in any of our sports that we offer. And then the golf piece, is our focus, and it's great to see women out there just putting. Friday evening, there's no Operation 36 class, but you'll see some of the players out there putting and getting on with each other and having a good time. It's brought in, I believe, 12 memberships. So 12 women who have been in the program who were not members have joined the club because of their experience in the Operation 36. So at that point, you talk about breaking even from a club standpoint. I mean, it's a no-brainer. One membership breaks even. So if you look at it that way, it's a home run.
I think I've been in the golf business since 1989. So, 33 years. And one thing that I've watched over the years is, and I saw it years and years ago. What are these kids doing out here playing golf? What are they doing out here? Get them out of here, right? And a lot of those clubs aren't here anymore, right? They're gone because they chased away their lifeblood, right? So, opportunities for juniors and women to play golf and get out and become involved is the future of most of our clubs. I mean, we need to continue to drive memberships, and this does it. I mean, it's proven itself that, people that never wanted to play golf in their entire life, all of a sudden now are addicted to it.
Yeah.
I've had 5 or 6 women tell me that I am addicted to this game, and they're having fun. So that is the lifeblood of what we do as golf professionals, right? We're supposed to be creating golfers. This helps you do it.
Yeah, and question came in, do you play the same week as instruction? So our play days are every other Saturday, and then instruction is weekly. So, on weeks 2, 4, 6, and 8, you're going to come in on the day that you have your session, your class, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and then Saturday, you're going to come back and play in the shotgun format. But as Bob stated in the beginning, we're flexible. If like this past Saturday was a rain out, so we got to figure something out, and try to get all those ladies to be able to play again. But, by pricing it in a way that makes the individuals understand that if we are unable to attend a class or a play day, I'm not losing on the deal, so we price it out again that you're going to come to 6 to 8 weeks and that you're going to come to 3 out of the 4 play days. If you come to all of them, it's a bit better bang for your buck. If you can only make there, it's not like, man, I just paid all this money and I only, went to half of it. And we don't want that mindset. So, that's kind of how we get around that.
And again, that's where we will step in and try our best to accommodate, right? If somebody misses something and they want to make it up, we're going to try to help them. Because all that does is just breed that person feels now that, hey man, they really take care of me. They want me here. They sign up for another semester, and it keeps it rolling. So, if you can be a little flexible, I think that's the answer.
Yeah, the lesson days. So the sessions are an hour long, from like the clinic standpoint, and then the play day is roughly 2 hours. We shotgun them at 10. They typically all come in within an hour and a half to 2 hours based on how they're playing, the weather that day, just your typical, golf round. Their experience is that hour for clinic, 2 hours for golf. And then from setup and everything, once Bob sets it up in the morning or staff member sets it up in the morning, we just leave everything where it is. So that way you don't have to set it back up in the evening. I know that's not available for all clubs. So we are kind of lucky in that regard. But my suggestion would be find a space where you might be able to do that. You don't have to be on a perfectly manicured driving range tee or a mat station. You can use a grass area that is just grass and do all the chipping and stuff there. There's times where we would use the back of our range because there's just more space and it's easier to set up and leave than it is to set up, take down throughout the day. So trying to find that area that you can utilize and not have to set up and break down all day long throughout the day. Setups, just setting up, the clinics and the skill sets that are going to be done. Like Bob said about the domes, going onto the putting green and setting up 4 or 5 holes with different stations and making, if it's putting, using, strings and tape and, tees, like all that, just getting that stuff set up in the drills, or putting up the pool noodles and the targets for the ladies to hit to when they're chipping or pitching, stuff of that nature. So, when you have, for us, when we have 30 women coming in for an evening class at 6, our setup is a little bit bigger than somebody that would only have 6 women, because we need to, have more drills or multiple targets to set up so that everybody can participate.
And then it does look like Dave was asking, I think about like the play days when they're going on the golf course. So like, are you guys putting cones out there, or is someone in charge of doing that?
Yeah, we paint dots on the fairway. Okay. A red dot for 50 or 25, white for 50, yellow for 100. And then we do a square yellow block with a red X in it for 150. And then, at that point, they're moving back to the tee box after that. So, and we do, we go out and paint every couple of weeks for that, just prior to the event.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, and just to elaborate, maybe Dave, just to give you other ideas, from stories I've heard, other than having something permanently painted, obviously these guys have a good relationship with their super to be able to do all that stuff and make sure that happens. But there is GPS in the app as well. So they can use GPS. We obviously recommend having something formal like a dot or a cone or something out there for those events, because it does make it more formal and they feel like they've accomplished something when they do beat 36. But I've also heard of guys that they'll put someone that knows what they're doing in the first group, and have the ladies put the markers out there as well. So like use the GPS, put 25, 50, 100 yards, and then you don't have to go out there and put the markers out yourself if you don't have anything permanent like paint like these guys do. Let's see here. We don't have much more time here, guys. So we got about 5-6 minutes left. I want to make sure I get you guys out of here. I don't think anyone else knows this, but you guys have an outing going on, and
Yeah.
obviously, Bob, you're the tournament director, so you'll probably need to get back to that here in a few. So I want to make sure we get you guys out of here on time. But I did want to, maybe just pick your brain really quickly. Bob, you mentioned the one lady that kind of got the golf bug. It sounds like a handful have gotten the golf bug. Do you guys have any, experiences in the 9-hole events in particular, where a lady made a putt on the last hole to beat 36, or maybe like a story of, a memorable story of going out and beating 36? Because I know you guys are talking about, how you try and keep it fun and light and not, put so much pressure on things. I didn't know if you guys had anything like that.
Well, we've had a couple hole-in-ones out there.
Okay.
From 25 yards, right? And that's always exciting. And we do an indoor program in the winter. We took the individual curriculum and modified it to fit
Okay.
a group format. And we play on. We have some target games that we play on TrackMan, right? And the darn thing explodes, right? Ah, you made it, right? And there's confetti coming up, and we take pictures of them and we post it, post it on the website or on social media. So try to get them excited about it, and share their success with the group. Everybody always posts their pictures too, like when they play separate from the events. They post stuff on the website, and then and you can track it on Op36, and people give them claps, and I try to go through once a week and clap at a lot of stuff, to encourage them. But we have had, I think that probably the biggest deal was the first round, a couple of hole-in-ones from 25, people chipped it in, and that was you could hear the roars around the course. You
got your own mini Augusta, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Those are always the fun stories to hear about. And just to kind of hear the small successes. I think that's, at least in my experience, I've been hearing those successes is what gets the golfers hooked. We all, obviously we're all golf pros here on the call, but I think what got us into golf is, feeling some sort of success that first time around, making that birdie or breaking 100 for the first time that made us keep going. So it's always cool to hear those stories. But
the other thing we use is the player progress report.
Okay.
And that's been really nice to hand those out at the end of a semester and just say, none of you folks realize how much time you've put in this last 8 weeks, how many minutes you've practiced, how many different, drills you've done, different skills sets that you've learned. And here's an outline of it. And you show that to them, they go, wow. You mean I played 45 holes and I played, and I practiced, 25 hours? You're kidding me, really? So that's a nice report that's in the system to utilize that we've had some success with. Even more so for the adults, than the certificate of passing 36, at 25 yards. That player progress report really tells a story.
I remember when we first came out with that. It's definitely something I've seen. We at our corporate locations, the 5 or 6 locations we run here, as well, the impact that it has with the golfers and feeling like, holy cow, I didn't know I improved by 12 shots. So those kinds of things definitely help. And I do know things are kind of winding down here. I really want to thank you guys again for taking time out of your day. You've got so many other things going on. I really appreciate you guys hopping on with us. If there's anything I can do to help, I'm sure I'll be up in Philly here in the coming months. Would love to kind of meet you guys in person, maybe have a beer or something. But really appreciate you guys jumping on and doing this with us.
Hey,
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a great, 4 or 5 years with the program, and we look forward to, the next, the future of it and continuing to grow the game. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to Bob and I. If you're in the area, swing on in. We'd be more than happy to talk through more stuff and just give our feedback. Nobody here is reinventing the wheel. Golf's been played and taught for decades. So if we all work together, we'll be able to achieve whatever goals we need. So
awesome, John, Bob, thanks again.
Thank you.
let you get
got it.
back to that
Thank you, guys.
tournament, and I'll send this recording out to everybody that attended. If you registered and didn't attend it, and you missed part of the meeting, I'll send a recording here in the next hour or so out to everybody, so you'll get to see what you missed. Really appreciate it, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one.